Greetings, Sunny. Also, warm, positive vibrations. This is Body-Culinary, and today I wanted to come in to share with you this really delicious live plant-based living foods herb cream cheese. Oh my gosh, it is so delicious. It's non-dairy and it's easy. You can make it at home yourself, and so it is so delicious. Now, I wanted to share with you also. Mm, these oat patties made from the oat groat, not rolled oats, because over here I really like to emphasize whole, fresh, unprocessed foods, but I ate it. I finished it before I turned on the camera. So today I'm gonna just show you some of the things that I'm sprouting over here in my little Afro flower homestead. And just to give you some visuals on whole, fresh, unprocessed food. So if you're interested in seeing that and this live herb cream cheese, stay tuned. I'm Body-Culinary. If you're new here, professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman, shout out to you, whatever your expression is. I love a natural lifestyle, as close as I can get to it in these times that we're living in. And on this channel, I love to share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance. So the features that I popped out onto this 3D earth plane with, encouragement and motivation to just 3 lifestyle practices, 3 that we have access to. Peaceful consumption that's peaceful to your arteries, your brain, your colon, your mood, your longevity, your vitality. Starting a garden therapy, and your personal movement practice. These are 3 lifestyle practices that can ground us and that we have access to and that can go with you into your seasoned, mature years. So that's what I love to share on this channel. So come along. If you're interested in reaching out to me after this video, you can always contact me at info@body-culinary.com. Do feel free to avail yourself of some of the resources that we have, like whole living foods in the hood with menus to fit your budget. So that's more so than a recipe book. It's not so much a recipe, even though you are going to get a peek into what I've been doing for well over a decade, sample budgets and how to shop, and some ideas on what I'm preparing with all of this fresh whole produce as a lifestyle. That's available on the website, as well as Natural Beauty, no products, only food. I put food on my hair and skin, and that's also primarily what I'm putting inside. That's how I cleared up a lot of acne. So over here, I'm really into natural bodies do matter. Small things matter. All of that matters. That's what I'm celebrating over here, right? So that we can glide into, all of the different things that life has in store with us. There's nothing like feeling comfortable in your skin with what you have. And then we have the option to play and dress it up and have makeup and all that other stuff. So today, do feel free to like if you feel if you get some value here, subscribe if you like, and you're welcome to share this with someone who could use some motivation. So today I ate it was going to be a bagel, but it wasn't a bagel. It was more of like a patty or oat cake, and it was made with the whole oat groat. So hold on, let me just give you a little peek at it. I get so excited, I get beside myself. So we've got a lot of sprouting going on right now. So I always try different ways of sprouting. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with the whole oat groat. So many of us say that we're eating whole foods or we're eating healthy, but that's the groat. And I have these have been soaked, and so that these are sprouting. That's the whole oat groat, and it's very chewy. This is actually very soft. So usually this is steamed. This is steamed, and then it's put through rollers. So those that have soaked. Also, edamame. These are organic soy. So I found if the seeds are not organic, these don't usually sprout. So I want to grow some edamame out in the garden. Right. This is good for women. Right. So hopefully you're not waiting to the last minute to start nourishing your body to deal with those phases of life. Right. So in terms of like menopause and those things, right? And a lot of us don't talk about those things. So we have a couple of different varieties of sunflower seeds soaking. Those who want to grow some greens. We have some local gooseberries, right? There's a green version called amla berries in India. This is what is in a lot of our hair products. So it looks like a blueberry. It's actually not very sweet at all. It has a very, very subtle sweetness. What else we? Oh, so that was one variety of the sunflower seeds. Greetings, Stormy. Greetings, Carolyn. So this was one variety. And sunflower greens are actually one of the pricier greens. I would say it's my favorite. And then these are black oil. So these are already starting to sprout. All right, so I'm creating my little greenhouses over here. Anybody else finding some? Growing some wheatgrass for myself and the rabbits. And I had to move my compost over here because these rabbits are really doing their thing. A little, I don't want to call them out of control, but they're really doing their rabbit thing. So they're different varieties of wheat berries. So these, they're just starting to get a teeny little tail. Just starting to get a little teeny tail. So today I'm doing the greenhouse thing. I'm the kitchen experimenter. So this is for years. I've grown plants and kale in bags, containers, everything recycled that you can think of. So everybody, I'm telling you, can grow something, even if you're in a small space. So some other things that we're going to be working on in my little Afro flower homestead is, and I'm thinking of the different things that women, that folks, that you can do that's you have access to. I'm always about my grandma Lou. She didn't have to go to no big fancy health food stores. I always feel like health should be accessible. It shouldn't have to be expensive. So it's the know-how. It's that wisdom of the mothers and the grandmothers. So mustard seeds, you can find these very inexpensively. There are some exquisite mustard greens right now that have grown in the garden. Maybe I need to take a picture and share it in the community section. The greens, when you grow them fresh, they're so tender. So there's some nuances and some distinctions that you experience when you grow food fresh. Everybody could grow something. I'm telling you, everybody can grow something. These mustard greens, they're a little sweeter. They're not so peppery. They're tender. They're delicious. When the greens get older, they're tougher to eat. But mustard seeds, you can get these right at the grocery store, or you can get a good deal if you go to your Indian grocer. One of my favorite places to shop. So you have mustard seeds. These were my these are red clover for red clover sprouts. So I recycle all kinds of containers. And these were my beet bull's blood, beet greens, microgreens. And alfalfa sprouts are very, very, these are easier to grow. You can get these in bulk. If you can't organic, I find the organic have a much higher germination rate. So of course we have here, because if you've seen the most recent 2 videos, nopales, this is pulled right out of my yard. If you're not able to grow, and this grows very easily. If I put this down inside of the garden, this will start to rot, and another one will grow right outside of it. So if you can see, because people sometimes ask me about the nopales, you see another one that's growing right out of it. So nature, that's why I call it the church. So this, I can drink it. I can put it on my hair as a moisturizer. I find it's much more moisturizing than rose water. No offense to rose water, but this is what I call Afro flowernomics. So it's easy to grow. I can drink it. It's good for diabetes, my hair, my skin. It makes a fantastic gel that runs neck and neck with aloe, and it doesn't get discolored, and it lasts quite a long time. And then, of course, aloe is always going to be my baby. So I'm about to make some more aloe juice. So you can make it in a gel or a juice. And it's and somebody can block this Ortiz, whatever, these bots or whatever, when they come up. So the aloe is the other one that's a staple. So again, I feel fortunate that I don't have to put makeup on. If I wanted to play, I could, but I have a lot to do. Now, these tomatoes are coming right out of the garden. So these fell off. They're not fully ripe yet, but these are absolutely delicious. So we don't want to eat these. These are not ripe yet, but we've been getting some fresh. Like some of them are over a pound, and that's with no pesticides. And it looks like a big garden, but it's a little yard. So everybody can grow something, right? So that's just a bit what's going on in my little homestead, these little projects. So this is one of the reasons why I emphasize, for me, you'll find your own sweet spot. Why I love to take a lot off the table, because it's really a matter of reprioritizing my time in terms of what's important to me. There are a lot of things that are just not so important. I love fashion. I really like nice things. I like elaborate hairstyles. I like sister locks. However, I prioritize play. I prioritize being able to roll on the floor. I'm prioritizing the garden. So if I look at how much time, I just do not want to spend a lot of time on my hair. I luxuriate in shea butter, raw cocoa butter, primarily from the foods that I'm putting on the inside, then I put them on the outside. However, the play and the movement is my priority. I am not concerned about sweating out a hairstyle, as you can see. Tender-headed, it's delicate. That's off the table. Hey, Jaleesa, greetings. Off the table. So a lot of the energy, the resources, and the focus, I refocus it to sprouting. These rabbits that are, oh my gosh, they give me a run for my money. They're like scaling the wall over here, jumping over a little divide I have in here. And today, this morning, went and picked out some fresh herbs. Oh my gosh. This is the flowers go through different phases, right? So we'll flower. Sometimes you see a flower before you get the fruit, and also before it begins to go to seed. So this is from amaranth or Lagos spinach, right? This gives a really nice spinach, and this is one of my favorite. This is the lemon basil. So you can use this for tea, or I can also chop it up inside salads if I wanted more of like a Thai flavor. It's like it tastes almost like a lemongrass. I can pair it with ginger. I can take the fresh raw peanuts and make it like a peanut sauce and pair this with it with some fresh peppercorns. So I like to flip each ingredient every which way to Sunday. So speaking of which, so today, child, let me not forget before I go any further. Okay, so here's the live cream cheese. I got a lot going on. I get really excited. So this is a live cream cheese, right? What many of us are endeavoring to change, or maybe to even experiment with vegan foodstuffs and substances, right? Many of us are taking the Oreo, popcorn, peanut, hot dog, hamburger, pizza mentality to whatever label. You know, all these commercials say you could eat whatever you want and not gain a pound. I worked in nutrition and fitness for many years. We want the same. Oh my goodness, these Czechoslovakian bots of people constantly on this page. So I seem to block them. So we want the food, we want the fruits and vegetables to melt. We want them to be gooey and sweet, and you can have sweet, salty, spicy, sour, all of those different flavors you can find in the plant kingdom and queendom. Just requires us learning how to manipulate the textures and also the food combinations. I'm telling you, you can have a blast on this food. So this was easy to make. There's a lot that I've learned to make. And by the way, what am I going to pair it with? I had just cut up some peppers. I don't know how to with this camera. Some peppers. And I'm going to take the cream cheese. So there's no preservative. There's no casein. A lot of times when you're buying these vegan cheeses, they have casein, which is coming from the cow's stomach. And then we're wondering, well, it says it's vegan. There's a lot of what I call food crimes going on. So most of the chips and all the too much of the processed nut butters and stuff, you know, it's in a health food store, that had my face looking like the sidewalk. That's delicious. And my cells can recognize it. We want beautiful skin, but we're eating a lot of substances masquerading as food. They have pictures of the plants. You know, you got pictures of the herbs and all that stuff. You got pictures of the aloe and stuff on there. You know, one of my homies was just about to pay $58 for a bottle of aloe juice. And I was like, child, I can make that aloe juice. I was like, you don't need all that aloe juice. It's not going to taste bitter. It's not going to behave the same way, because I can tell you a huge distinction with the whole fresh living foods. It's going to spoil. And I know we want the convenience, but we want to look, how can I put this? We want to look fresh and supple and vibrant. But the food we're eating is not fresh, supple, and vibrant. We want to look hydrated. These are key words that are thrown out. And we get these little spray bottles and all this other stuff and these so-called elixirs. We want to look plump. These are words that are thrown out. We want to look plump and hydrated. Yet we're eating stuff that has had all of the living water pulled out of it. Then you have to add salt so it can have shelf life and sit indefinitely on the shelf. The water's removed, you added salt. The salt is going to create water retention. I can tell you definitely as a fitness competitor, because before we go on stage, we cut all salt so you can see all the muscles and all that stuff on stage, so you look ripped. But the opposite is happening, even with all the natural salts, all of that extra salt. Most of us have no concept of how much salt is enough. Hopefully I'll see you in Common Sense Nutrition. So all that additional salt, right? There's sodium chloride. Naturally, sodium chloride is the extracted salt, but the naturally occurring sodium inside of the celery and the tomatoes and the broccoli, if I never put an ounce of salt, I would get enough salt in all of my vegetables. That additional salt has us retaining pounds of water. And the water looks like adipose tissue, technical term over here for what? For fatty tissue, right? Because I always say, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I say release weight. Your body's intelligent. If you're not doing any kind of a movement practice, then you'll lose a lot of water, some of the adipose tissue, but then there's no tone. So that's why I say this is a lifestyle. Oh my goodness. These cats, these bots, or these folks are relentless. So we want living water. I say it all the time. The living water is what we want inside of the food. So if I'm eating, I pull the chives and the herbs. This is a fresh cream cheese. I can make it sweet or I can make it savory. So if I didn't mention it, doing a 3-day and a 7-day nutritional reset. Although I'm a trained fasting instructor, I find that many of us have a tendency to be in a very much binge purge kind of mentality. And I invite you to consider, many of us are looking to quote unquote detox. The body knows how to detox. It's responding to whatever it is that we're putting into it. We are a walking natural signature. We're a signature. It's called the doctrine of signature in nature with trees and plants. So our fingerprint or our story, our body is telling a story about the different things we've been consuming on a physical level, right? And what we've been consuming, usually we've been in a certain mindset. Every time we're eating a mindset, without making yourself bad or wrong, we're in a mindset, particularly if we're eating foods that look like food on the package, but it's not the whole food anymore. Even if it's from the health food store. So I'm not trying to be a party pooper. The living water, the enzymes, the electricity, the life force. It's actually, the more you think about it, it's like little light bulbs going off. It makes perfect sense. We want longevity. We want vitality. We want to be pain-free. Yeah, we're eating all these gooey substances that actually create blockages inside of the body that are very, very hard to digest. And even some of the quote-unquote vegan products that we're eating, they're so highly processed. Your body uses a tremendous amount of energy to digest food. So these things the cells can't recognize, and they've been so processed, so dried out. We're making the body work hard. This contributes to us to being tired and sleepy. And then we take a bunch of stimulants to like a electric shock, an EKG, to enliven us, to whip us, to keep going and going. But it's actually not very respectful to the cells and to the body. Then it's a vicious cycle. We keep buying more anti-aging things when it's a lifestyle. So what can we do? If we find things that are pleasant and easy and sustainable, we can relax and breathe a sigh of relief. So I find one of the best ways to learn, because it's nothing for me to give you a quick recipe, but the nuances, the little details in preparation and how to hold it and your hand at seasoning, that's something that you develop and cultivate over time. So during the 3-day, you can have the option of doing it 3 days or 7 days, and it should be up. It should be up now on the website. So I know folks have been trying to get through it. It's up on the website at body-culinary.com. If you go to 3 7-day nutritional reset. So that starts now. I'm so excited. So once you register, it's going to be private. So once you register, you will get a link. You will get a link. So it's going to be private. It's not going to be open to everyone. Once you register, you will get a link to participate. You're going to bring your notebook your pen and your paper. You're going to get a lot of your questions answered. You're going to learn a lot about preparing this food as a lifestyle. So you don't need to sprout all these things at one time. I'm doing it for you so you don't have to go through all that, because I love to play. And the kitchen is good quality time spent with myself. One of my homies was asking me to save the corn stalks, and there's different varieties of corn. This one is a corn that was bred to feed the chickens, but she was just using it to make tamales. And also we were pulling the corn silk. Many of us have heard the terms corn silk because all you folks that into hair products. This is dry now, but the corn silk, actually indigenous folks, I don't know if I want to say indigenous Americans, but the indigenous folks to the continent would boil the silk inside the corn husk for tea, for hair, right? So corn silk, and it's an ingredient quite often used in hair care products. So I got to keep blocking these bots. Wow. So greetings. So that's what we're going to be doing, a 3 and 7 day nutritional reset. So we're going to be learning about it's all whole, living, unprocessed foods. Yes, it's cruelty free. Yes, it's based around the plant kingdom and queendom. You have the option to pick up the other stuff if you want, but during this particular period, this nutritional reset, to reset your system, right, is whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods. And you're going to be getting a lot of your questions answered. So I do recommend, if you don't have the guide, that's wonderful for you to read that already. Whole Living Foods in the Hood. Also, Natural Beauty, No Products. If you're someone that has a lot of acne, or if you've been diagnosed with the comorbidities, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, they run in packs. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to reset your nutrition, right? To reset your gut, right? To learn all those nuances so you can get off the diet whole stroll. So you can stop the back and forth. I like to take a lot off the table. So shout out to Kanene Hanagana. Definitely Jaleesa, who's here all the time, and Carolyn Shepard and Stormy Shell, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. I'm so excited. I love to play in the kitchen. There are many things that people think are a drag that I found for years is good quality time spent with myself. So if I came over right now to your house with my roller skates and my double dutch rope, and we were just playing in the kitchen and we were in the garden, it would be a no-brainer. I feel like that's what's really natural. I feel like that's the way that you retain the best. So you're welcome to go over and register for the 3-day or 7-day nutritional reset. You can decide to do it for 3 days or 7 days, right? So you'll get an email. You're going to get an email, and you'll be welcomed into a private group. During the 3 and 7 days, you'll be able to participate in a forum. So any questions or challenges that you have that come up will be there, right there for daily support. We're going to have a couple of Zoom meetings, and you're going to get a shopping list of all those foods. So folks always ask me, where do I get this? Where do I get that? I'll be giving you lots of recommendations. It doesn't matter where you are. We can always find something, right? So that's 3 and 7 days nutritional reset. So if anybody has questions, you can feel free to reach out to me at info@body-culinary.com. And I'm so excited. Because I always have like a million ideas and things for people to participate in. However, I've got my rabbits, the garden, it's a lot to do. And also social media in and of itself, I find there's a certain kind of energy being on these screens all day. So I'd like to be as intentional as I can when I come on here. And even more so, being much more stringent with like, what is it that I'm offering? Does it have a purpose? Is it something that is reciprocal where I'm also growing from the interaction? And these screens are usually a one-way deposit, right? So I like to be very, very conscientious of my memory, of my brain, my attention, and fright and fear going into this brain computer. So I'm excited. So do let me know that you're part of the YouTube community. If you're planning on joining the 3 or 7 day, if you're part of the Patreon, if you're on my Patreon, anybody that's on the Patreon, going forward as things fill up. They will always have priority. If there are any early birds or RSVP, they will always get first priority. Yay! So I am so excited. I am so excited. So I'm inviting you all to create a great day. Again, on the homestead today, let's just check in one more time. So we had wheat berries. That's the whole, people talking whole food. That's what whole foods are, that's sprouting. Whole oat groats. When people say whole groats, this is whole, it's not steamed. Organic, very important, particularly if you're looking to grow edamame, right? That it has organic. Usually the non-organic ones will not sprout. So these are just soaked. 2 different types of sunflower seeds. And these we're going to be working with. That's what I call it. Before all of this back to the land stuff, this is what our grandmothers did. So we have this variety of sunflower seeds, and then we have what is also called black oil sunflower seeds that are sprouting. You want beautiful skin, this is what's up. We have the amla. These are not sprouting. These are just gooseberries. So I have some farmers that sometimes bring me a stash. This is why I love the market. And I hang out at the, do I buy bread? Well, actually, to be quite honest, I'm not a bread lover. Now, that being said, I will make it myself. I went through a whole thing with sprouted tortillas and sprouted grain bread. So depending on where you are on your journey, that might be something for you. During the 3 and 7 day nutritional reset, everything is coming from you. So you know exactly what's in it. That's really going to start to retrain your eye. But I don't buy bread. I don't eat rice. And as I'm saying, it gives me chills because I was a junk food junkie. I was a starchitarian. I was looking very chunky and my skin was looking jacked up as a vegetarian. So there are a lot of different nuances I've figured out over the years. So to me, it's mind-boggling that I don't crave bread. Even though I just made, some things from the sprouted oats yesterday. And my sister, we have the same, we eat the same. However, she has more lean muscle than me. Our bodies are different. She can eat the heavier foods. I don't like things so heavy anymore. Your palate is actually going to change over the years. So initially, you may crave more of, let's say, like the goddess cakes. That workshop, if you want to make some nice raw vegan cakes, and this is not, I'm not pounding you down with nuts. You can gain weight on a raw vegan diet. You want some things to look forward to. So the raw vegan workshop cakes, goddess cakes and living passion cakes, that's also on bodyculinary.com. You want some things to look forward to. That's what's going to help sustain you on this lifestyle. I have a dehydrator, but I don't need a dehydrator. I actually only bought another dehydrator. I had given my dehydrators away. I bought them. I bought another one again to make things for clients because I realized that people are at different phases in their process. And so I can't emphasize enough that I don't find it, and I've been run a whole gamut, I don't find it helpful or beneficial to us to judge ourselves. Now, this common sense judgment. I'm not talking about that. I mean judgment in a condemning sense. To judge ourselves or to judge others, because everybody is on their own process in their journey. Your husband, your children. So I can set the foundation for a healthy lifestyle, which I've been committed to before I had a son. I swore if I had 2 nickels, I would feed my children healthy food because I knew the morbid obesity and the diabetes and the amputations that was just waiting. So I was like, as a young mom, I was like, I found somebody told me about a food co-op, and I went from one borough to the next in order to make sure that I fed my son healthy food. So vegetarian, greetings. It's not so much, it's not the labels. I'm telling you, I got to find some pictures of me as the chunky vegetarian with acne that was looking redonkulous. I got to find some pictures. Even if you scroll down the community section, look what my skin was looking like. And I've been eating healthy for years. Even my son was like, Mommy, why your skin look like that? You eat healthy. There's so many nuances. Like all that junk food, we think we get a get out of jail free card. You're just going to pray to the Lord. You're going to get a fresh, brand new body after you abuse this one. That does not make one iota of sense. You think because you drink one green juice that all of the stuff you ate is going to disappear, or because you do one 7-day fast? No. Now, it's huge. However, as a coach and nutrition coach, I could just tell you for years certain things that work. And it's the mindset, the state of mind you're in while you're eating. some comprehensive education. People can come to a trainer, and I've had clients say, just tell me what to do. So somebody say your clients. I don't know what you're questioning what you mean by your clients. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition consultant and a chef, professional chef for many years. So I don't know if that's what you mean. But some clients, I have had some clients that say, just tell me what to do. I'm paying you. Just tell me what to do. I don't even want to think about it. However, I found with most people that sustain over the years, there's some basic, you don't have to go out and get a certification, but there's some basic comprehension, also the mindset. If you don't have a strong foundation of education, let me just block these bots as they come in like, ooh, fast today. I've never had this many bots on my channel. If you don't have a strong foundation of knowledge and a big enough why it's important to you to eat high octane quality food full of life-giving water, full of electricity, full of fiber, full of nutrition that has not been compromised or compromised the least. If your why is not big enough, you got to get the why first. Why am I doing this? Why am I, if you don't have a big enough why, then after the wedding, after the vacation, after the honeymoon, after the event, you didn't really change your mindset. And so when the stress triggers kick in, because we're surrounded by triggeration, even from the screens, all that's going to go out the window because it wasn't a foundation. It wasn't really a decision. Once you make the decision, however, you can then keep your mind open, keep your eyes peeled for other ways to prepare things, right? That's why when I put together Whole Living Foods in the Hood, I remember when I had so much supplements, I had so much essential oils. I was like, I know my grandmother didn't do all of this stuff. I was like, it should be accessible. I shouldn't have to pay $50 necessarily for a supplement and numerous. So I'm trying to rely on mostly supplements. Like I have a get out of jail free card. Meanwhile, I have a pizza, hot dog, hamburger mentality. What's that doing for my cells? And my skin was telling the truth. My skin was telling the truth. So for me to take off the makeup and sit with myself, oh my gosh, I felt embarrassed. This is great, but I listened to the internal dialogue. I felt embarrassed. How am I this health person ripped up with all this muscle? And why did my face look like that? See, again, the shame and the criticism. That is something that we don't unpack or we don't address. So it lingers. And so you just have a recipe and you have a bunch of books that are sitting on the shelf, but not really lifestyle change that sticks. There's a sweet spot. Oh my gosh, I have never had this many bots on here. There's a sweet spot. That we find eventually. There's a sweet spot between your consumption patterns, your personal movement practice, your garden therapy. There's a place, and it's experiential. There's a place where it's one thing for me to sit and tell you and give you a recipe, but when you have an experience, it's like, I got chills right now. It's like when I think of taking African dance class. When I first was dancing, I wasn't thinking about no fitness. I was having pure joy. If my body ripped open, I could care less. It made me feel so good. My skin, my body responded, makes me feel so good. Not having to buy bigger clothing sizes makes me feel so good. Being in the garden with the plants, when I start to notice the birds and it's quiet, even sometimes you'll see I got a little garden manicure, even though I brush my nails all the time, with a brush. It feels so good. This I have access to. These are lifestyle. I'm calling it the Afro flower lifestyle. These are practices that we have access to. Whatever your spending plan or your budget, your personal movement practice. I've done this living in the bush with nothing. There was a time where I was living in the bush for a period and I didn't have any problem. When I say no products, I had nothing. I had nothing but creek water. And when I tell you my skin was like, my skin felt normal. I'm sure I had mineral deposits from bathing in the creek, but my skin felt, oh my gosh. It's like we're just breathing from big distinction from the water. I could feel the difference when I would go back to the city, I could feel the difference in the water. So there are these little subtleties you can read about other people's experience. However, it's something else when you start having your own experience, and many of us don't do something for a long enough period to really start to have these aha moments, right? And so that's where I don't know everything, but I've got, several decades of experience that perhaps could shorten your learning curve. It doesn't have to take us 10 years to achieve a healthful weight and to find a lifestyle that we can live with that is sustainable. So we take that off the table. You're not preoccupied with food other than playing in the food. The food is beautiful, it's nourishing your immune system. You have something you can take on the road. You have food to share with other people. Kanene, I found your episode of Looking for a Minimalist Beauty Regimen. I hear that. It's not that I couldn't play in makeup. You have the option if you want to. You can do whatever. I don't tell grown folks what to do unless they pay me for it. But just the relief, I don't have to wear. It's important to me to feel comfortable in my skin. So I have decided to take the external validation. Now, I like compliment, all that stuff is nice, but my eyes are a little bit different now. They've been a little bit refined from life experience, hard-earned wisdom. It's very important I feel comfortable in my skin. I take the validation. We be chasing tail, just chasing a lot of stuff that goes in the garbage, all of this programming, chasing beauty. Most of us want to be models when we're little. Modeling, we don't even think of modeling for what? What does that say? It says that we're looking for validation. It says that we're looking for validation. Am I pronouncing your name right, Kanene? You would love to study under me. I've had several people say that. We shall see. Reach out to me because I've had some young flowers ask me that. I'm thinking about depending on your age, setting up a mentorship for young women. Not religious. I ain't into none of that cult business. However, I do think that having a sounding board. Not everybody had a Grandma Lou. And I wasn't even with my Grandma Lou that long, but she made such an impact on me. The most present and pleasant human being I've ever encountered. To me, that's like the Dalai Lama. She wasn't vegan or vegetarian, but she's actually, though, the catalyst for why I eat the way that I do. So I like to take a lot of her recipes, that Caribbean flavor, and I just don't add the flesh, or I don't add the white refined flour. So I feel like I'm adding on to the traditions that she left me with. So reach out if you're interested as a young woman, because I've gotten that several times. So when I come together, I love to come together around an activity. And the activity usually will have peaceful consumption, your intake, and answer your questions, your garden therapy, and your movement practice at a foundation, an activity. Because we're in a time now where what's being monetized, and it doesn't stick. I watch me have some great communication and think I'm like saving somebody from walking off a cliff. And I just watch without the judgment. I'm actually fascinated, and I don't hold judgment. I'm always very curious, just like with fitness, watching a lot of us, women and men, but watch a lot of young women putting ourselves in harm's way in ignorance and naivete. And also that primal, that need for validation it overrides all logic. So I have to be very efficient with my energy. For me to sit and spend hours communicating or talking to someone, to have them turn around, and I don't control people, and put themselves in harm's way, it's not effective, and I desire to be effective. Right? So that being said, I've thought about what's the best way for me to be beneficial to young women, so that we can perhaps have a sounding board, because I don't tell folks what to do, so we can make better decisions. The decisions that you are making will alter likely your life, future generations, and whoever you allow to enter into your womb space. It is what it is. I ain't gonna tell you what to do, but I can perhaps answer some questions, and I will answer them honestly. However, we'll come back to those lifestyle practices. We could do all the talking in the world. You probably hear the bunny. This bunny is scaling the wall. See you, kitty cool? An athlete. So likely the three lifestyle practices, what I'm calling Afro flower practices, and welcome to whatever your expression is on this page. Your garden therapy. That you have access to. You don't have to pay anybody for that. Your personal movement practice, peaceful consumption, peaceful to your arteries, your brain, your colon, your breasts, the JJ, not putting ourselves in harm's way. So that's what I have to offer when it comes to young women. So you're welcome to reach out to me again on body-culinary.com. And don't forget the 3 7-day nutritional reset. You can call it a fast if you want. It's a reset, an opportunity to reset and to do an overhaul of your eating. It's all whole, fresh, living food. You can go register on body-culinary.com. If you're not able to get to me personally to speak with me, again, feel free to avail yourself of the guide, Whole Living Foods in the Hood, with menus to fit your budget, and natural beauty, no products, only food. Love your own hair and skin. That's natural, is cruelty-free and vegan. You don't have to be. It's about finding your sweet spot, because as you crowd in these lifestyle practices and whatever for you, whatever's available, the best, most electric filled, high octane fuel, peaceful fuel available, then those principles will guide your food choices. It will naturally, it's just going to make sense. It's amazing to me. It's amazing. It's mind-boggling to me that is greedy, and maybe I need another word other than greedy, because even greed is coming from a place. But as greedy as I wasn't, as much as I was a junk food junkie, there's certain things you couldn't pay me to eat right now. You couldn't pay, and that was a process. That was a process. So it doesn't have to take you years to get there. All right, so that was the cream cheese. That was the vegan cream cheese. So this one more look. This one more look. Wait, hold on. Let me make this bigger. The chive and the rosemary pulled from the garden. Nothing here that's gonna clog you up. All the stuff you can make from home. I have this thing. It's like anything I see out there, I can make my own. I can make it better. Let me drop this up. And I can make it so it's not breaking up my skin, clogging up my colon, and I can keep my economics right where it needs to be. I'm inviting you all to create a great day on purpose. You're welcome to if you find value here, comment respectfully, subscribe if you find value here. Feel free to share this with somebody else. And after you register for the 3 7-day nutritional reset, you'll receive the email to the private group, and you'll get your shopping list, and we'll be answering all our questions over there privately. So y'all create a great day on purpose. Let me give y'all a little bite. Let me go back in the garden and deal with these rabbits, because they're scaling like burglars. They're scaling over the fence and the divide in here. Create a great day on purpose, and I will see y'all soon.